Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of NC-17. Today we are honored to have with us award-winning Scream Queen. At least that's what the circle that I'm around calls you. Amanda Howell. I got it right this time. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Josh. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Uh, how has your year been? Because I know something very exciting happened.
Yeah,
I'll let you go.
a couple exciting things happened. My year has been great. Um, I can't remember if I was still pregnant during the last interview that we had, or if I had just had baby girl, but I did have a baby. Her name is Olive, and she is just the most special baby ever. Literally, she's such an angel. She's so sweet. And I mean, her big sister, her dad, and I are all just smitten in love with her. We love her so much.
Oh yeah. Actually, last time we did the interview, you were 3 weeks away from having her.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was nearing the end. Yeah. And
Yeah.
boy, has time flown by. It feels like I just talked to you yesterday.
Oh yeah. You said some other exciting things happened. You care to elaborate?
Yeah, I got married, and my best friend Nick got engaged to be married, which is super exciting. Big things happening. We bought a house this year, so come February, it'll be our first official year in this house, which it's just exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. You see everybody, or you see your parents, they had their house, but then once you move into your own house, it's like, wow, we actually own a house now. Like there's so many more responsibilities that come with having a house and also having a young family. My one daughter's 5, gonna be 6 here in May, and then my other daughter's almost 3 months old. So it's exciting to have a place to raise our family, but it's also nerve-wracking because of all the responsibilities that it is being a homeowner. We weren't
Yeah.
prepared.
Well, I mean, they always say it's better to jump in the deep end than put your toes in. So,
Yes, yes, exactly. We definitely jumped into the deep end this year.
oh yeah. So for the new viewers of the show, you were the main star, Emily, in Flesh.
Correct. Yes.
Uh, award-winning movie, by the way. But
Thank you.
nonetheless, the thing about that movie that I want the audience to know is that what you see her portray in the movie is like every emotion imaginable, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
and I'll let you take it from there to explain a little bit because you were there.
So with Flesh and with me being the character of Emily, Emily doesn't really have a lot of dialogue in the movie. So her acting is more through like her body. It's more physical and mental than it is verbal. She's going through this massive transformation, and like anyone would with any transformation, you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know how you got here. Well, Emily knows how she got there, but like you don't know what's going to unfold. And so you're watching her go through it, like as she's going through it for the first time. So it's very raw, it's very deep, it's very gritty. I really tried to portray the character, and I tried to do what was asked of me in the best way that I could, while also trying not to be myself, because it's very hard. You have to have, a set line of where, okay, this is where she takes over, this is where the character takes over. And then having my character transform into another character was also something that I had never dealt with before. And I'm not sure, a lot of people would, because you don't expect yourself to transform into something. And for me, having to transform into Emily, but then as the character of Emily having to transform into something else, it was just mind boggling how we made it work.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's very grungy.
oh yeah. That's a
grungy.
good word too, grungy. I like that word. So with that one, and then going into Bad Things Happen Here, which is a new film that you're going to be starring in. So the dialogue that wasn't there for Flesh is going to be there for Bad Things Happen Here.
Yes, there's a lot more dialogue in my character of Mercy with Bad Things Happen Here. Um, and the way that the horror is in each movie is completely different. So with Flesh, it was more body horror, bodily transformation, whereas with Mercy, it's more of a psychological type horror thriller. It's, the psychological down spiral of this seemingly healthy individual.
Oh yeah. So in between doing the movies and your personal life and everything like that, do you like sometimes when you're out and about, do you get recognized from Flesh and people come up to you and say, "Hey, you were in this"?
Um, I've only had that happen once locally. I was going through the drive-through at McDonald's and the lady was like, "Oh, aren't you that woman from Flash?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." But that was like the only time that that's ever happened. I think maybe once Bad Things Happen Here comes out and we get more of an audience that's not just local, because a lot of the Flesh fans are local and people that are in our community. So they kind of just know me and they don't really say much about it. But maybe once Bad Things Happen Here comes out, we'll get more of a broad audience. I couldn't a broader audience so that, we're getting out there more so that more people are able to enjoy it. And then maybe I'll get recognized more. But the little recognition that happens within the small town it's enough for me, at least.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about Motor City Nightmares. So
Mhm.
2 years ago is when you guys were there for the first time, and
Yes.
that had to have been like a very good time because that's when I go to every year.
Mhm.
But I also think that being as a vendor, because you're there to sell the product you have, but you also want to be there as an attendee to be able to like just take it all in. Was any of that ever overwhelming?
Not at all. No, I loved being at Motor City Nightmares. It wasn't overwhelming, it was just very demanding because we had to be at the booth for basically all the hours. Plus, we had to set up and take down at the end of the days that we needed to. Um, it was just it wasn't overwhelming. It was just a lot to take in, not in the overwhelming way, but just because there's so many people and everybody is asking you like either the same thing over and over and over again, or you'll get the most random questions that get asked, and you're like, oh, I haven't really had to think about that. So let me get back to you. But
Uh,
it's something that's exciting. It's something that I'm looking forward to doing again in the coming years. Um, and obviously getting the exposure, getting, to see everybody, the people that we've met in the past, aka you and Lisa. Um, it'll be exciting to be able to see the same people, but then also get to meet new people and get to expose ourselves to more critics and more,
oh
more eyes.
oh yeah. So same year, fast forward to October, you guys made the 4 hour trip, I think, down
Yeah.
here for the viewing at the theater, and which again, I'm very grateful. I'm always going to be eternally grateful. Uh, it was a sold out audience,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they sold out very quickly.
Yes. Yes, it did. And for us to travel that far out of our community to have a sold out show with, you know, there were some friends and family members, but everybody was experiencing it for the first time. Everybody that was there, it was their first time seeing it on the big screen. It was such a cool experience. I absolutely feel humbled, being during that post show interview, just seeing everybody, seeing all the different faces. It's like, I don't recognize half of these faces, three-quarter of these faces, there's only like five or six plus my husband's mom in the crowd. It was a great experience to have, and I'm looking forward to anything that we plan on doing in the future for Bad Things Happen Here.
Oh yeah, I I don't want to like put no negative things out there, so I'm going to say I see nothing but positive things. I saw the trailer numerous times, and to me, with Bad Things Happen Here, it looks like kind of like what you said earlier. It's going to be a different audience, but still the same audience because they've grown to love you guys and the product you guys put out. You
Correct.
know, and to me, that speaks volumes on how well you guys do. And like, you got to give it to Nick. The dude comes up with some awesome stuff.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and Roz, he does great stuff. But to be the forefront of, in my opinion, a powerhouse independent movie. That's what it is. Like it's up there. In as a matter of fact, I think in 2023 it won Movie of the Year for the NC-17 awards. Which
Yep.
there's actually a group of people. It's not just me saying I think this movie is the best movie. No, there's a group of people that sit there and we all talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
So the thing is you're right with a different audience. Are you looking forward to like seeing the way it's going to interact with the already established audience to the new audience?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very interested to see how the people that, love Flesh with as low of a budget as it did have, how they come to love the new movie, Bad Things, with the, just the amount of time and effort and money and hours that went into making that movie. We're still working on it today. Like Nick is still going through and editing stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Roz is actually creating new music to be on the score for the movie. And it's incredible the way that we can all do something individually. Like we all have our own individual pieces and aspects of the movie that we are creatively in charge of. But the way that Nick just meshes it all together and molds it so beautifully, it'll be exciting to see how the previous audience and even, the new audience coming in reacts to that. Because yes, Flesh was a great movie. I love Flesh with my whole heart. There will never be another Flesh. That was standalone, its own thing. And you either love it or you hate it. With Bad Things, if you loved Flesh, you're going to love this movie because it's the same twisted, fucked up mind that is Nick. It's the same twisted, fucked up mind that is me and Roz and, all of our crew. We all work together. We have great chemistry. So what went into Flesh also went into Bad Things. So it's not like, yes, they are completely different, but if you loved Flesh, you have to want to love at least Bad Things. I'm excited to see the critique, what people didn't like or what was their favorite part. I haven't even seen it. There's been scenes added that I don't even know about, things that Nick has done last minute, changes he's made, additions he's made. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to be able to have grown with this company and to be able to continue to grow, essentially. Um, it'll be exciting to see how everybody accepts it and takes it in.
Oh yeah. Uh, we actually had two viewer questions that I will get to. The first one being, and this comes from remarkably someone that least expected, my manager. But he asked, with Flesh, and then you're going to be doing Bad Things Happen Here. How does your mindset go from one to the other?
You have to completely change your mindset, completely, because they are completely different stories. They're completely different characters. They take place Well, they take place in Michigan. That's just because that's our home state, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so I can't say that they take place in entirely different places, but for the most part, they do because you see in Flesh, it kind of takes place, there's like a motel, there's the woods, then there's the beach, and then there's even more woods. And then with Bad Things, you can see in the trailer of the show or of the movie that there's a cabin, or at least you can see it. You can see that there's vehicles, so we're obviously moving around. There's different scenes within that you can kind of, you can get the gist that it's a whole different thing.
Uh,
Um, yeah, and just the characters, the way that Emily was more of a body transformation and Mercy is more of a mental transformation.
uh, we have a couple new people that are going to be starring in this one with you. Stella,
Yes.
your younger sister,
Yes.
and Drew,
Yes.
who, in the trailer, when you see his character, is kind of like as red, but also fucked up at the same time.
Yeah. And that's the best way to describe Drew's character is well, characters. He is so like he takes up such like he has such presence. When he's there, and it's like you are just drawn to him, but you're also like, what the fuck is going on with him? Like, what? It's yeah, it's
uh,
a conundrum. They
uh,
contradict.
uh, what character does Stella play?
Stella plays the youngest version of my character. You'll see my character at three different ages. So my daughter Stella will be playing the youngest version. And then there is a young girl named Tiana who plays 10-year-old version of Mercy. And then you have me, and she's supposed to be 27, I believe, is what was written in the script. Um, which I'm not even 27 yet. So, um, yeah, so then you have my character. Well, the oldest version of my character, which is played by me.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting though. So three different family members playing one character. I don't think that's ever, other than Full House.
Right.
I mean, like I don't particularly remember anything like that happening, which to me just shows the different layers that Wendigo Pictures goes through to kind of like put what they want to put out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. And we did casting too. It wasn't that we had typecast, it was just everybody came to the audition and then we're like, this is perfect for you, this is perfect for you, this is perfect for you. And when we read lines together, we got that chemistry together and it was perfect. And then Nick actually had been looking for somebody to play younger me, the 10-year-old me, and well, Mercy, I keep saying me. Um, and I think Brandy is friends with the young girl's mom, and she was like, "Well, she loved Flesh. She'd love to be in your new thing." And we tried it once, and she was perfect. She was absolutely perfect. And then we all of us got together, me, Stella, and Tiana, and I was like, "Wow, they really could be sisters." Looking at Stella and Tiana, I was like, "You guys casted her perfectly. She fits right in."
Oh
And
yeah.
it does. Everybody fits right into the roles that they were either the roles that were written for them or the roles that they got assigned to.
Oh yeah. So I know Flesh came out in 2021.
Yes,
Bad Things Happen Here is aiming for an early 2025, I think.
correct. Yep.
So to take the time from, I mean, essentially take 4 years for it to, from one to the other.
Mhm.
A lot more work had to have gone into it, which obviously it has. But the timetable between that one and this one, working on one project, like, and then managing your personal life, you having a baby, getting married, buying a house. I mean, like, obviously your husband's behind you and it's like, hey, go out there, kick ass and everything. But there ever been a time to where it's like your personal life had to take precedence over this, or this had to take precedence over this,
That is
other
a
than pregnancy?
that is a really good question. Um, I want to say that everything kind of balanced out in the end. when we were doing Flesh, I was still living, well, I was back living at my dad's house. And, he was able to watch Stella for me, or I would take Stella over to where my mom was at. My mom would watch Stella. But most of the time, she came with me. She was sitting in the car or she was playing with Brandy, as this little infant. She, she was maybe just over a year old when we were filming Flash. So, and then yeah, we premiered Flash and a lot of life changes happened. Um, and then Nick told me about the story of Bad Things Happen Here, and then we jumped right into that. And it was just incredible. And we filmed Bad Things Happen Here for 8 weeks straight, I want to say. We did 72-hour days, basically. It was like nonstop. It was 12 hours, and then we'd get a little bit of a break, and then we'd come back for another 5 or 6 hours. So, having all of that, and then now with the filming, the main portion of the filming being done, the like behind the scenes stuff being done, and now the final composition coming together. There's been a lot of breaks. We've taken a lot of breaks. I know I personally have taken a break to do all the fun stuff this year that I was able to do. Nick's taken breaks to be able to focus on his mental health, to focus on his relationship. It's not been consistent work going into it. We're able to regroup at times that work best for us in order to make it happen. We would like to get a little bit more consistent as the years progress, as the projects progress and get bigger or get smaller or what have you. As we're dishing out more stuff, we'd like to get more consistent with that. But for what it's worth, there was maybe a $500 budget for Flesh, and we boom, 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 we got it out to the best ability that we could with that money. With Bad Things Happen Here, I know Nick was able to save. I know Brandy pitched in. And I know that there were anonymous donations and non-anonymous donations that were made to help the filming process of Bad Things Happen Here. I feel like we were able to take our time with the pre-production. We were able to take our time with the production to make sure that we got everything that we needed and that nothing was going to be missed. So now we're taking our time with the post-production. If Nick is getting stressed out, he takes a break. He's not forcing himself, he's not pushing himself to his limit, which is nice for us because we still get happy Nick. We don't get depressed, overworked, overstimulated Nick. And it also is nice for us as the Wendigo Pictures family because we're able to spend more time together and not be stressed out about having a deadline. Because with Flesh, we essentially had a deadline. And it's just nice that we're able to take our time. We're really able to think about what we're doing, to work on what we're doing, and then to be extremely happy with the final results.
All right. Speaking of Nick, you and him, you've been friends since you were little kids,
Yeah,
and
like 7 or 8.
oh yeah. So I mean that to me, like you guys are pretty much brother and sister, you know.
Yes.
So being able to work with somebody that you've already had a pre-established kinship with, you know,
Mhm.
to me that kind of solidifies the fact that without you guys and without everyone else who's in Wendigo Pictures, it's like it just wouldn't be the same, you know?
Absolutely. It would not be the same. I mean, even if there wasn't Roz, it wouldn't be the same, And I mean, I had known Roz just briefly because we worked together briefly. Um, Back before I had Stella is when I met Roz. And then to not have any relationship with him, to be thrown into Flesh and him being basically my counterpart in that movie, it was we learned a lot about each other. We learned how to piss each other off. We learned how to work with each other. Um, but it wouldn't have been the same if not for, maybe during one of the scenes, when I'm trying to jump on him, I don't knee him in the balls. Um, it wouldn't have been the same if that wouldn't have happened because it was raw. It was what it was, and we have established such a relationship with all of us, Roz, Julia, Drew, Nick, me, Brandy, Alvin, you can say. We all have this relationship that it wouldn't, if we didn't have that relationship, the movie wouldn't be as good as it can be. You
Yeah.
know, it wouldn't be the same at all.
Oh,
At all. It wouldn't be.
no. I mean, I agree, and I'm not even like I wasn't even part of the filming, but I agree. Because well, see, here's the thing: you guys as a group, when I met you the first time at Motor City Nightmares, I'm not gonna lie, I passed your spot, I think 4 or 5 times, and then Lauren was like, "Hey, they're selling the movie." And I was like, "Oh, what's it about?" You were like, "Body horror." I was like, "Yeah, I'll buy it." But the fact that you guys were one probably the most humble people I've ever met in my life. That's God's honest truth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And genuine. And the thing is the product. What really made me buy it outside of body horror was you guys weren't selling your movie, you were selling yourselves, because the movie is kind of just an extenuation of you guys minus the transformations.
Absolutely. And that's what bad things is as well, There are pieces from our lives that we have put into this movie. There's experiences, there's traumas, there's, different
Oh.
scenarios that, oh yeah, I've said that to my sister. I can definitely say that to her again. My sister did play a character. Um, it's things like that that we can bring from our actual lives into our pretend lives, but it's all still the same in a way.
Oh
You're
yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. It's just an extension of what we currently are, a dysfunctional family.
Speaking of family, let I know every episode whenever I have anybody from Wendigo Pictures on, I mention Brandy because to me it seems like she's the onset mom, and the fact that you're a mother, it's like you guys outside of the film and you guys already knowing each other, you guys can connect on a different level because you're both mothers.
Oh yes, and she's I've called her mama ever since Nick and I had our first sleepover. Mama, can you make me French toast? Absolutely, honey. So yeah, she is like my second mother. Which she's amazing. She has been so supportive of me in every aspect of life that I have endured. She was there in my delivery room as I was pushing out my Olive. She was there. She was the one who held me, she was literally held me, as I'm going through my contractions, and just having her, being able to have her there when I wasn't able to have my biological mom there, it made all the difference. Um, Brandy is my biggest support person outside of my blood family, and she will continue to be my biggest support person outside of my blood family until the day that I die or she dies. Not that I want her to anytime soon, not that, but she is the biggest supporter. I mean, everybody in Wendigo Pictures, she's supportive of. She is the mom, and she's the best mom. And I'm so lucky and grateful to have her in my life.
Oh yeah. Uh, one more thing about Brandy, and then we'll go because we got 10 minutes left, and then we'll go into just a couple other things and then that other fan question.
Okay.
So when I met you guys, Brandy was there, and all you guys, like I said, are humble. But when you guys came to the viewing, excuse me, when you guys came to the viewing and did the Q&A, her photography is next to none. I mean, like, it's fantastic, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
it was just like, I saw the pictures. I'm like, they didn't turn on the lights, but you still saw everything crystal clear. Yeah. But,
Does a great job with her photography. Yeah.
oh, yeah. But that's kind of like my shout out for her photography because I think it's awesome. Uh,
She did my maternity photos, she did my newborn photos, and she did our Christmas photos this year. So she's phenomenal. She's absolutely phenomenal, and she has an eye. She has the eye for photography that not everybody else in photography has.
I agree because I saw some of the pictures you posted on Facebook.
Mhm.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Uh, the other fan question was next time, because there probably will be a next time. I'll bug you to be on again. I know I will. uh, they want to. The audience down here wants to meet your entire family. You, Stella, Olive, and your husband. Is that possible?
Absolutely. Stella was actually asking me if she could come up with me tonight. I was like, no, mom's gonna go upstairs and be by herself. Mommy needs to do this. But it's actually funny because I was actually going to talk to you. She wants to get in here. She wants to talk about what she did as set baby. She's like, but I did this. I held the lights. I did it. I was doing the smoke machine, mom. I'm like, you're right, but now's not the right time. So now that you asked, absolutely. I would love to have everybody on the show. Absolutely.
We also got to work on getting Brandy on the show eventually.
Yes. Yes, we do. And maybe have one like of all Wendigo pictures, or at least Brandy, Nick, Julia, me, and Roz.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that would be the easiest group to get together. But if we could get Drew in there too, I mean, I'm always down
Oh
to
yeah.
have Drew.
My on a personal note, my wife wanted me to tell you that you have a very lovely family.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have a lovely family as well. I
Uh,
love the newest edition.
yeah, it was so. Long story short, when our Dotson passed, Lauren didn't get sad, but she got sad. You know what I'm saying? Then it kind of started hitting her. It was going to be the first Christmas without her, and she was like, "I was like, all right, we're going to get you a dog." We wanted something small, but you saw what we got.
He's not that small.
No.
So he's going to definitely keep you on your toes.
Yes, he's stomping around upstairs right now. So outside of bad things happen here, have you and Nick talked about potential future projects? Or
Yes. Yes, we did. He actually, when he came over for Stella's Christmas concert, we actually drove over to the Christmas concert together that she put on. And we were talking about potential future projects, and he said that him and Alvin are actually working on something right now. Alvin brought the idea to him. I don't know if I'm getting this 100% right, but I believe Alvin brought the idea to him, and they've been working on a script together, or Alvin already had the script or something like that. But yes, there is something that will be in the works, hopefully in the near future. Maybe in 2025, we'll start working on it. But I'm very, very excited. Yes.
uh, uh, so I actually had a question because my co-host Lisa, she's an author.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about maybe writing something, short stories or something like that?
Personally, I love to write. I'm not very good at it though. I'm not very descriptive. I have run-on sentences. If it was a collaboration, maybe I would be more in tune with it. Nick might be interested in doing something like that. Absolutely. If Lisa and I could work together in the future and push out, maybe a set of short stories, that would be something I'm definitely interested in doing, but it's not something I would see myself doing on my own as an individual, but maybe working together with somebody, maybe somebody like Lisa or somebody like Nick, um, to be able to get our ideas together so that it's not just my mind, because my mind does not work like that.
Neither does mine.
I'm not very good at that.
So yeah, we got about 4 minutes left. Did you want to plug your social medias and how people can reach you and where they can buy the movie and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have a website. I believe it's just wendigopictures.com, and that's Wendigo, like the mythical creature, but with an H on the end because we have to be unique. and then pictures. Like there you go, wendigo.com. You can find the trailer, you can find the movie, you can find merchandise. I know that we're going to be at Horror City, no, Motor City Nightmares this year again. We're going to have a booth set up. If all goes to plan, we're going to have our new film as a part of the film festival. That's what we're hoping for. So we'll be able to plug everything there. Of course, we'll have physical copies of the DVD there. We will all be in attendance. The Wendigo Pictures crew will be in attendance. Wendigo Pictures is on YouTube. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. Um, Nick is Nick Bergman. I'm Amanda Howell now. Julian Nauke, Brandy Bergman, Roz Olin, and Drew Robinson. And that's where you can find all of us.
Oh yeah. Uh, Again, you guys are all like grade A people. You're upstanding people that I know personally, and I got all the admiration for you guys. And when bad things happen here comes out, I'm definitely going to be a big pusher of that movie, as I obviously know I'm going to be.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, it's just sounds like you had a really banner year, like a really good year.
I really did. And I'm very much looking forward to 2025 because, as they say, it can only go up from here.
That's right. That's right. One more thing. So, with bad things happening here in a cabin, kind of reminiscent of Evil Dead. Because, see, that started out as a low budget movie, but look where Bruce Campbell is today.
That's true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
So, I mean, different stories, though. So, I don't want the audience to get that mixed up. Completely different stories.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
And
having me.
like I said before in the first interview, you have a home here at NC-17 anytime, even if it's to come on and say you got a booger in your nose, which I think I had one, but don't worry. No, I'll just playing. No, again, thank you for coming on. Uh, I hope you had a good Christmas.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you, and I'm gonna end it here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Don't do anything I won't do. Not a whole lot, but still. Oh yeah. All right. Until next time, stay NC-17.